Hello, everybody, and welcome to my channel. I am Luna, owner and operator of Luna's Enlightenment, and this is Luna and Friends, where we talk about spirituality and mind, body, spirit alignments and anything that we want to talk about. So today I am joined with my friend Sarah, and I will let Sarah introduce herself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Sarah. I like to call myself a trauma-informed wellness witch. I do all sorts of trauma-informed healing modalities, including inner child work, reparenting, energy center work, and all kinds of other stuff like that. I also do mediumship and meeting with the spirit guides as well. So lots of very interesting ways to heal with the mind, body, spirit connection. I like to bring all that together and bring you guys a well-rounded healing experience that's tailored to my clients' needs. So that's what I do. That's me. And yeah, really excited to be here with Luna today and the rest of you.
You just sound like an amazing, like one of those people that you can literally go to about any like weird random thing. Like you feel like, like you just accept them for their weirdness.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it, actually, because I do so many things in this realm. I have a lot of trouble describing to people exactly what it is that I do. And to be honest, with the way that I feel energies, I will even sort of shift the way I describe it based on who I'm talking to, because I do so much and what I do is so often very personally tailored to my client and what their needs are in that moment when they come to me, that what I tell people I do changes slightly every time I say it. So there's so much vastness to what I offer. But in the grand scheme of things, it really comes down to building a strong mind, body, spirit connection and all of the things that encompass that. So, whatever your needs may be, I can probably help you out.
So what you were saying kind of made me think of something that I go through. So I know like my looks and my like you said, kind of not like your personality, but you start to sway a certain way, one of your personalities or whatever may come out. So I noticed with me, with whatever group I'm in or whoever I'm more relating to, then I kind of do like my look kind of changes a little bit. I might decide to like switch out hair colors or whatever the case may be, and wear certain clothing. And so I do notice that. And do you feel like that could be problematic at times, or just a way to fit in socially?
It really depends on how far you go with it. I've been like that my whole life as well. I'm very much a chameleon. I don't really think that's so much of a problem as long as you are doing it from a place of authenticity. It's what feels right for you in that moment. If you are coming at it from a place of doing it specifically to fit in or to become accepted, if you are, say, um, changing your clothing and spending all kinds of money updating your wardrobe specifically to be accepted, or you think it might doing that might be make you be more accepted from the group you're trying to win over, that's when it becomes problematic. But if you are doing it purely because on a day by day basis you are going with what feels right for you in that moment, then yeah, I have absolutely no problem with it. And I don't think it's a problem for the people doing it. It's when you start to catch yourself doing it specifically to win the approval of others and to be accepted by others, as opposed to coming at it from an authentic, this is what feels right for me today sort of thing. So it's about opening up your own self awareness and paying attention to the whys of your actions. So if your why is this feels right for me today and I love it and I want to express myself this way today, then yeah, all the power to you. Do whatever you need to do and want to do. But if you're coming at it from a place of, well, if I dye my hair pink, these funky, cool people will want to accept me more and I will feel more like them. And maybe they will take me in as part of this group more readily if I make my hair color pink. Then that's when it starts to, um, you start to really need to check in with yourself and ask yourself the whys. Why am I doing this? Am I trying to win approval, or do I feel like this is something I really want? And if it's not something you really want, then you shouldn't be doing it, hands down.
Yeah. So today between yesterday and today, we got our full moon here in Pisces. And this is that super blue moon, very feminine, very emotional, things like that. So what have you been experiencing?
Well, over the last few days, leading up to the full moon, I had a couple of really intense coaching sessions that honestly kind of came up out of the blue. One of them, I was doing a podcast taping at my friend Little Cheeky BB's house. And she's an amazing coach. She's one of the first coaches I've ever worked with. And yeah, after her little podcast that I did with her and my housemate, she gave us an impromptu, almost like a couples like partnership coaching thing, um because our communication is just atrocious. We both have really good intentions with each other, and we both care about each other a lot, but our communication and our traumas just clash a lot often, and it's horrible sometimes. So she noticed that by being in the room with us talking about our relationship dynamic, and she's like, okay guys, I'm gonna reel this in. So that was like a huge like feminine energy shift coming in to be like, hey, this is how we're going to find creative ways to get you guys to communicate better. And that energy of just like letting your walls down, being emotional, allowing myself to hear others and be heard by others for the first time in a really long time. And it was like the others that are the most prominent in my life. So that was a really big, huge shift. The other coaching session that I had was the day before that. And I'm helping a friend of mine get through her coaching classes, and she's just starting out. So I wasn't expecting it to go super in depth or um, get that real, but I got a really, really in depth coaching session on how to mother myself better and more the day before this big communication breakthrough happened. So it's been really emotional. There's been a lot of very creative feminine energy coming my way, and I'm bringing in that like compassionate mother energy as well, not just in how I speak to myself, but how I engage with the world as well. So that's been a really huge shift for me.
So
And yeah,
kind of switching up the topic a little bit, I don't mean to, but when on
yeah.
this the mother, so I have this thing too where I tell people, you are your own mother and you parent yourself. So I'm building this relationship with me. So when I'm thinking a lot and I'm like, oh, okay, we don't need to think that way. Like I'm literally telling myself like, okay, no, we don't need to think like that. It's okay. We don't need to worry about the future. So things like that. But then when I get bombarded with like things and I'm like, stop it. Just stop already. I've had enough. Like I literally yell at myself because it's like, all right, I don't know what's working and I try to be nice and then my brain just won't stop at times. And I literally feel like I'm raising my children again because I'm like, just go to sleep. Then go take a nap.
Yeah. One of the things that I've noticed, it was just a very slight tweak in my how I was mothering myself. Um, Instead of the sentence that you're using, you don't need to think that way. We don't have to think that way. Stop thinking that way. let yourself know it's okay to think that way, but it's not necessary. It's okay if you do, and just let it be okay that you're having a bad day and that you're having these thoughts. And, ask yourself, like, is there anything that these thoughts are trying to show me that I can work on? Maybe they're recurring because there's something there I haven't seen. So giving yourself that compassion instead of telling yourself that you don't need to do that. Let yourself do it. Let yourself see the thought and let yourself know that it's okay to do that. Because when we tell ourselves you don't need to, it's in a way invalidating the fact that those thoughts are even there. When a lot of the times our recurring thoughts or our bombarding thoughts are really just trying to show us something that we need, that needs our attention. So just let yourself be okay that it's there. And that was my shift too. I was like, why isn't this getting better? Why have I been working with this this motherhood wound for so long and bringing in so much love and compassion? Why is it? But it was because I was doing something very similar to you. I was telling myself, oh, it's okay. You don't need to think that way. Things are going to get better. And I was almost toxic positivitying myself to a point where it was like, I was kind of just like shoving it aside without actually looking at why it was there. So giving yourself that extra little bit of compassion and allow yourself to spend time getting curious with these thoughts instead of telling yourself to stop having them or that they don't need to be there. Does that make sense?
I swear, because like we were talking about the moon energy. So for me, it's been a lot of self-acceptance lately.
Mm-hmm.
Even I was telling my friend a few minutes ago before we started, because she had commented on her being at the highest weight that she's at currently. And so I had told her that I've been following this lady who has a very severe eating disorder, and where she like pulls what to eat, to try something new, because it goes very mental. Like I was hitting part of this road where I'm like, oh, I can't eat that because it's like, it's not good for me, or it's gonna make me gain weight, or whatever the case may be. So I'm like seeing her, and she's excited, and she had made a comment saying I deserve to eat what I want, because she ended up pulling her favorite chocolate bar, and she's like, I haven't had this in so long. And like basically saying, like you were saying, it's okay. It really is okay to do whatever it is that you want to do, because this is your world, and it's your greatness, and not where you're striving for a story or a make-believe illusion image of you. Rather, who you are, the true nature. If you're messy or clumsy, like, own it. Like, okay, things happen, and then cheer yourself when you don't drop anything, or you manage your time well, and you made every single appointment, or whatever it is. And like you're saying, accept those things, those flaws, or the things that you need to work on, and just be like, oh, you know what, like, this is just something that I've been conditioned to doing. And so working on it is being aware of the patterns and aware of what's going on.
Yeah. And like the whole activity of just like getting curious with yourself about your why. Like if you were to have a little kid and they came to you and they were crying and they said that they were sad, wouldn't you want to ask them why? Why are you sad? What makes you feel this way? And do you have to feel this way all day long? And if you do, just letting that be okay. Let yourself have the moment to express whatever it is that you need to express, and let that be okay. And give yourself the compassion that you need to let yourself know you can actually do those things. It's okay to do those things because it's um it's something that our soul is asking us to do. If we are constantly being bombarded with thoughts around um, self image and body image, instead of trying to force those thoughts away, start to look at them. Where do you come from? Are you even my thought? Did you come from somebody in high school telling me I was fat? Did you come from somebody in, swimming class telling me that I had love handles? Like, where are these thoughts coming from? Are they even mine? Like, just getting really curious about why you feel this way. Where did this feeling come from? How long has it been there? What keeps the thought there? And just get curious with yourself and ask yourself questions as if you were your own mother trying to get to the bottom of a problem with a kid. Like, who said that to you? Do you have to believe the thing that you said? Is it true just because she said it? Is it true just because he said it? Doesn't make it true just because somebody was having a bad day, or it doesn't make it true just because someone was trying to put someone else down so they'd feel better. Just because they wanted to feel better doesn't mean the nasty thing that came out of their mouth was true. So if you start to dissect things like that, you can start to really realize that, like, a lot of the negative thoughts that we have aren't even from us. They don't even come from our own mental state. It comes from something that somebody told us about ourselves that we internalized. So if we start to get curious the way a mother would and asking your daughter, why do you feel this way? Who said this to you? Where did this come from? And give yourself that space, you can actually start to heal the damage that was caused instead of burying it deep inside and masking it with toxic positivity or affirmations that go nowhere and get you to a certain point but not much further, things like that, right? So the curiosity is a big thing.
Yeah, so one of the things, like, I guess I'm gonna move this a little esoteric, kind of, but like one of the things that I kind of notice is a lot of people who have like similar trauma and things like that, how they group, like a lot of people, like their favorite movies are the same, and they listen to the same amount of music, things like that. And it's because like when you go into a certain mindset or whatever phase, and you put yourself in these and you kind of like live in the world, and they do too, so you're like grouping each other in a sense with other people, and all of you guys, like I know people who we would be like, oh, our favorite song's the same, and we have similar traits, and our jokes are what is cynical, all of those like low vibrational, like, talking about yourself, all those like things that we like bonded over. And it was like the same music, and or the same movies and the same jobs, or we were all like health, or not healthcare, but like childcare workers, or worked with social service agencies. And it's like we're all like grouped in certain ways, I feel.
Yeah, that happens. I believe it's just all in frequency. Certain frequencies will group together. Um, it's kind of like I'm seeing a visual of something in my head, and I don't like I'm not very scientific when it comes to this stuff. I'm just seeing a lot of like visuals of like, when you've got a bunch of sand particles on a speaker and you put the sound frequency, it shapes all those like beautiful patterns. And depending on the frequency, it will shape a different pattern. And like, with the way the frequency comes out, specific sand molecules or particles will move towards one end of the spectrum to like hold shape or hold the shape of that space over on this end. And other particles will move to the front with the frequency. And by the time it's done, it makes this beautiful Mandela effect type fractal. And I'm kind of just seeing the sand like moving with the frequency to different parts of the page kind of thing. Like, does that make sense? Like, I don't know. I'm just seeing this like vision. I'm really I'm really like clairvoyant and all the different clairs. So I'm uh I'm getting a really weird information download based on what you said, but it's all visual and it's really hard to explain. But if you know if you've seen those things on TikTok where it's like the guy will put sand on a piece of glass over a speaker and play the frequency and it changes to a pattern, that's what I'm seeing. And depending on the different particles of sand, they go to different parts of that glass to form the shape. And that's what I'm kind of seeing is like, as people, we all sort of like, depending on the frequency that's being pumped out to us, we will all kind of gravitate to a different area of the page so that we can create this shape of the fractal that all comes together. It's really hard to explain what I'm saying, but or explain what I'm feeling right now, but it's kind of interesting.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
feel like I'm not making much sense though.
No, but like not to be like in a way stereotypical, but it becomes stereotypical. You know, it's like you know, people they kind of look the same, they dress the same, they have similar backstories, things
Yeah.
like that. And it's like literal replicas, but like different types of replicas. You
Yeah,
know,
it's I believe we as human beings there are multiple different frequencies in which we can choose to run at. And the imagery that I'm seeing is in my head is, yeah, there are these groupings of people that sort of look and dress and talk the same, and like they all sort of go to their one area and their one group. And then over here, there's another area and another group that kind of dresses and talks the same. And it's sort of just like almost like a big wave pattern where we're all different, but we're all linked together and supportive of one another in a way. And I'm seeing it just a like the looking the same, the sort of talking the same, dressing the same, liking the same things. It's a way for us to express the frequency in which we're living in. And because a lot of us on this planet are like, okay, well, there's a bunch of this frequency type of people. They all kind of can be lumped into the same clique or group or whatever subcategory. And then these people over here. But if you look at the whole thing, we all sort of need each other in the subcategories to like lean on each other, and they all sort of have like a crossover or a link or a blend into. So I believe that's just a way that us as human beings in these bodies express what frequency we're on. And because there's only so many number of frequencies, there is going to be crossover on who's who's dressing like what, watching what movies, and like how they lump together. I don't know if I'm making any sense right now. I'm getting a bunch of downloads that I'm trying to verbalize.
no, that's basically it. You know, like I know even me in high school, like I think back to me in high school where it was like, okay, I would hang out with like the emo kids, and then I would like, you know, start looking like the emo kids. That's because I like the look. And then I would go, I played softball and I would play softball all the time. And so then I would dress like, I don't know, someone who literally plays softball and wear that kind of clothing. And then I like hanging out, you know, the hip hop crowd or, you know, the gangster rap. So then I'm like, and I'm just like, I have all of these like wrapped in one and I like it. Sometimes I'll, you know, like I seen some lady, she looked like Cher from Clueless, and she had on like the little printed skirt, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can see myself wearing that. I want that outfit. You know, so I to me it's just like I feel like it's dress up, and that I like that I can pull off different things because I kind of lived in that world. So, you know, it's not like I'm just pretending, but like I, you know, I wear what I like and what I associate with. So I guess it's more like that self acceptance. Like I can literally wear whatever I want, and as long as, like you said, it's you and not
Yeah,
trying to be a replica of them, rather be who you are and dress the way that you want to dress and style it how you want to style it.
yeah, exactly. And I've kind of always been that way myself. I was my first main thing, like when I was in grade 7, my favorite outfit was like orange and white running shoes that were like big and chunky, red wide leg jeans, a yellow and black stripy long sleeve shirt with a blue t-shirt with polar bears on it over top. And I had orange hair and I wore crazy blue makeup, like eyeliner kind of drawn on my cheeks, and like I had crazy designs on my face and shiny sparkly blue lipstick and bright orange hair. Like I was just a weirdo and I liked being a weirdo. And I was kind of the only one being that weird at that age. And like my sister was a bit of a weirdo too, but she was a bit older than me. So she wasn't like necessarily in my school, but some of the things I was doing were like emulating her a little bit and trying to like look up to her with my fashion. So it started with that, but then I went into like full punk rock mode, and then I was like full raver candy kid mode, and then I was a raver punk rocker. I don't know what that mashup was, but it was awesome mode. And like I kind of went a little bit gangster for a while too there, and I just dressed like I was just, yeah, I just dressed like a total gangster and like baggy pants and like varsity jackets and like baseball hats and like high top sneakers. And yeah, it was my jam for a really long time. And I kind of, there were periods where I would switch based on the grouping of friends that I was with, but I still very much did the things that I like to do, and it felt right to me. I even had a mohawk at one point. All my friends were like, "No, don't get a mohawk; it won't look good." And I was like, "I don't care," and I did it anyway.
I
And
I think that also has something to do with that masculine and feminine energy, where you go in either or. So,
yeah,
but we are actually running out of time, so we will have to use that for later on at our
yeah.
next recording. So thank you so much, Sarah, for joining us today. And how can we find you?
If you guys want to find me, I'm currently working on building my website right now. It's not ready. But you can find me on Instagram at Big Soul Healing, and you can also find me on TikTok at Big Soul Healing. So there is a book now button on my Linktree on my Instagram bio, and also just on my Instagram bio. And I'm offering $50 intuitive readings right now as a special. So if you guys are interested in that, it will be the sale's going on till September 25th, and you can hit the book now button to to book your appointment quickly and easily. Got a little bit muddled there.
All right, and then if you guys want to look us up, we are at Luna's Enlightenment on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. You can come and visit our shop. We are located here in the lovely city of Chicago in Illinois, in the USA. So feel free to stop by, take a look. We're building our consignment store. So if anyone wants to sell
Ooh.
their products here, send me an email, reach out to
Ooh.
us. And yeah, so thank you so much, Sarah. It was a pleasure. We hope to see you again soon. Take care, everybody.
Thank you, Luna. Bye, guys.
Oh my goodness.